Like most of the internet, I've been obsessing over Hazbin Hotel over on Amazon Prime, and oh my gosh, this show is so fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, it's about Lucifer's daughter Charlie trying to rehabilitate souls in hell so that they can go ascend to heaven. Like the purest of pure love here. And I love how many moving parts there are in the background that don't even come out in season 1. So today, let's have a talk about Alastor and how he is 100% definitely connected to Lilith. Hey guys, I'm Megan, this is the Fangirl, and today we're starting a love affair with Hazbin Hotel's best character, Alastor. And if you don't agree, fight me on your favorite in the comments. But because I can't see what you're typing while I'm writing my script today, let me just throw out some interesting things I've noticed about the radio demon. First, he is, for some reason, deer themed with evil antlers that pop out of his head when he's going full demon mode. I mean, unless his opponent is driving a car, that is the least threatening animal ever. Second, Alastor is one of Hell's most infamous overlords. He came from nowhere and rose to power quickly, making sure he made a reputation for himself by blasting the screams of his fallen foes over the radio. But he's really not a bad guy per se. Like when Sir Pinchas ripped a little piece of his coat, Alastor didn't obliterate the Snake Man. He showed him mercy, and he likewise seems to show mercy and empathy to multiple others. Carmela likes him, Vestial likes him, Rosie likes him. He's even good to Nifty and Husk, who, sure, they are trapped in Alastor's service and all, but Nifty especially is uncontrollable and erratic. And instead of destroying her or unleashing her, Alastor takes care of her like a beloved pet. And then there's Mimsy, who makes Alastor seem like this sweet guy that just helps a lady out for nothing in return. Also, Alastor goes to get his jacket repaired after Pinchas damaged it, and he reappeared in a jacket that was just as tattered as before. Anyone else notice that or think it was weird? Are the rips reminders of fights he almost lost? Like, what's going on with that? Not to mention, Alastor is mysterious in that he refused to join the extremely powerful Overlord team, the V's, even though Alastor is also media-based and should theoretically fit right in with them. But maybe that's because Alastor isn't free to do as he pleases. Because Husk tells us that Alastor is on someone else's leash, and Alastor also sings about wanting to break free to take over hell in the finale. So someone owns Alastor. Also, don't forget that Alastor has been missing in hell for the last 7 years, and so far he's refused to explain where he's been. All we can reasonably assume for sure about our sketchy buddy is that his heyday had to be around the 1920s, both because of his radio fixation and the fact that Mimsy talks about knowing Alastor when they were alive, and she's dressed like a flapper, which are from the 1920s. So yeah, in the spectrum of Hell's existence, Alastor hasn't been around long, but he has climbed the ladder of power fast. So here's what I take from that and what I theorize is going on. It is really hard to miss the fact that Alastor has been missing from Hell for the same amount of time as Charlie's mom, Lilith. It's also easy to notice that Lucifer immediately gets indignant with Alastor while knowing nothing about the Hazbin Hotel situation and claiming to not have any clue who Alastor is. Those two details clicked for me hard. Lucifer's been painted as not really wanting to rule in hell, and that it was Lilith who really took the reins and ran the show down there. So it's a pretty safe bet that the first Overlord was Lilith. And she's probably the most powerful, since, no one's going to be able to touch her without enduring the wrath of Lucifer himself. Lilith got to basically do whatever, and she had zero repercussions due to her partner's status. And with that in mind, Lilith would have definitely been making contracts and deals so that she could enslave other souls to strengthen and enforce her own power, which is 100% what Alastor must have done. For whatever reason, Alastor died and caught Lilith's eye, and she made a deal that Alastor would exist on her leash and in return get great power, which is where that radio staff comes in. That one object was so overpowered that it let Alastor do almost anything, which is how he rose to power and destroyed or enslaved other souls. Because notice in the finale that Adam and Lucifer have a battle, and Adam seems really well matched for Lucifer, but Lucifer and Charlie end up overpowering him without a ton of effort. Which, interesting side note, Charlie and Lilith are the only humans and half-humans who exist without being blood related to Adam in this universe. So when Adam and Alastor fight, there's no contest when it essentially becomes hand-to-hand combat. And I wonder if Alastor having to have to be a descendant of Adam contributes to that at all. But at first, Alastor is winning the fight. That is, until Adam breaks the radio microphone staff, and then suddenly Alastor is nearly powerless and has to flee for his afterlife. And while Lilith and Lucifer are both very powerful in hell, we do have that big plot point that says heaven is stronger with better powers and weapons. So, being that the only person who could harm Alastor's power or break his shield was Adam, a very high-ranking angelic being, that suggests that Alastor's staff had to be made by a top-notch Hellion. Again, leading us to Lilith being the one making it for him. Lilith would best know Adam. She would best know how to defend against the angels. And an object that she would make would very likely be way more powerful than anything else. Well, short of angelic weapons themselves. It's also odd that the first episode mentions that Lilith has been missing for 7 years, which is exactly how long Vox says that Alastor's been gone. And, considering that Lilith is lounging up in heaven these days, it kind of sounds like she could have made a deal with God or Sarah to bring her lover to heaven with her. And think about it, Alastor came to hell hungry and ambitious and wanting to take over, so he already has a matching personality to what we've heard of Lilith. And if Lilith spent centuries with Lucifer, who's just locked away in his home, depressed, unmotivated, not doing anything to manage hell at all, yeah, I could totally see Alastor and Lilith having a romantic affair. Of course, Lucifer being who he is would know at least something about the whole situation and where Lilith went, which would explain Lucifer's behavior around Alastor. Lucifer immediately acts like Alastor is nothing and no one, and it's kind of like the same way a jealous ex would act around the person who stole his wife away. Wait, are they married? Anyways, Lucifer has to at least be aware that Lilith ran off with Alastor, that they are lovers, which is why there's all this disdain, and Alastor is definitely aware that Lucifer knows who he is too, because Alastor keeps pushing Lucifer's buttons and tries to overinflate his relationship with Charlie to make him upset. You know, you took my wife, now you're trying to take my daughter? I don't think so. Also consider, what is the first thing that Alastor does when he resurfaces in hell? He goes straight to Charlie and decides to help her with her rehabilitation project. Why? What is in it for him? It doesn't gain Alastor power or minions to hang around Charlie. In fact, the souls that he controls might get rehabilitated and sent to heaven, so it's not a good fit for him. Overlords shouldn't be supporting the Hazbin Hotel. So this is about Charlie and trying to get in Charlie's favor and groom her and control her, at least eventually. And I believe that either Lilith sent Alastor on a mission to understand the hotel project and maybe report it back to her. Or the more sinister approach, Lilith dumped Alastor and got him sent back to hell. And now he's investigating the rehabilitation process so that way he can get back up to heaven and unalive Lilith. And I would say that either way is about a 50-50 shot right now, except Alastor and Rosie have a short discussion about backing Charlie and sort of pushing her towards leadership. So, my current theory is that Alastor came back to hell to dethrone Lucifer, put a beloved Charlie, who can help get the sinners into heaven, on the throne, so that Alastor and Lilith can puppet Charlie and assume all the power of hell for themselves. Because Lilith has to be bored up there in heaven, just lounging around without a care in the world. The only way she could do that is if she had someone she really trusted calling the shots back down in hell. And yeah, I know they've both been gone for 7 years, but come on. This is eternity we're talking about. That's like a week-long vacation for them. And Charlie is so love-starved with severe daddy issues, which is going to make her easy to control under the guise of parental affection. The only puzzle piece I'm not sure on is how Lilith talked her way into heaven and got Alastor in the door with her. She must have traded something, either physical, power, or information based, but I can't come up with any solid ideas yet. Leave me a comment if you have some, but the way that Lilith is just relaxing up in heaven, it's almost like, what? I didn't do anything. I've been here the whole time. While this entire takeover plan unfolds below her feet. Lilith has been too smart and too powerful for too long to just give up everything and retire. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how all of this unfolds. It might not be reality, but theories are more fun. And to any of my members here on YouTube, a huge bottom of my heart thank you for all of your help and support. If you would like to become a paid channel member, there is a link in the description below. Thanks again, guys. Love you. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos, like you, helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.